Welcome to Bite at a Time Books, where we read you your favorite classics one bite at a time. My name is Bree Carlile, and I love to read, and wanted to share my passion with listeners like you. Be sure to follow the show on your favorite podcast platforms so you get all the new episodes. Or you can follow the show on YouTube, where we have playlists for all the stories. You can find us on all the social medias at Bite at a Time Books, or on our website, biteatatimebooks.com, where you can also sign up for our newsletter for more information on what we're reading and what's coming next for the podcasts. We're part of the Bite at a Time Books Productions Network. If you'd also like to hear what inspired your favorite classic author to write their novels, and what was going on in the world at the time, check out the Bite at a Time Books Behind the Story podcast, Tuesdays, wherever you listen to podcasts. Today we'll be continuing The Return of Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle. The Adventure of the Three Students. Bite 2. To my bedroom. Have you been in it since your adventure? No, I came straight away for you. I should like to have a glance round. What a charming old-fashioned room. Perhaps you will kindly wait a minute until I've examined the floor. No, I see nothing. What about this curtain? You hang your clothes behind it. If anyone were forced to conceal himself in this room, he must do it there, since the bed is too low and the wardrobe too shallow. No one there, I suppose. As Holmes drew the curtain, I was aware from some little rigidity and alertness of his attitude that he was prepared for an emergency. As a matter of fact, the drawn curtain disclosed nothing but 3 or 4 suits of clothes hanging from a line of pegs. Holmes turned away and stooped suddenly to the floor. "Hello, what's this?" said he. It was a small pyramid of black putty-like stuff, exactly like the one upon the table of the study. Holmes held it out on his open palm in the glare of the electric light. "Your visitor seems to have left traces in your bedroom as well as in your sitting room, Mr. Soames. What could he have wanted there? I think it is clear enough. You came back by an unexpected way, and so he had no warning until you were at the very door. What could he do? He caught up everything which would betray him, and he rushed into your bedroom to conceal himself. Good gracious, Mr. Holmes. Do you mean to tell me that all the time I was talking to Bannister in this room, we had the man prisoner if we had only known it? So I read it. Surely there's another alternative, Mr. Holmes. I don't know whether you observed my bedroom window. Lattice paned, lead framework, 3 separate windows, one swinging on hinge, and large enough to admit a man. Exactly. And it looks out on an angle on the courtyard so as to be partly invisible. The man might have effected his entrance there, left traces as he passed through the bedroom, and finally finding the door open, have escaped that way." Holmes shook his head impatiently. "Let us be practical," said he. "I understand you to say that there are 3 students who use this stair and are in the habit of passing your door." "Yes, there are." "And they are all in for this examination." "Yes." "Have you any reason to suspect any one of them more than the others?" Soames hesitated. "It is a very delicate question," said he. "One hardly likes to throw suspicion where there are no proofs. Let us hear the suspicions. I will look after the proofs. I will tell you, then, in a few words, the character of the 3 men who inhabit these rooms. The lower of the 3 is Gilchrist, a fine scholar and athlete, plays in the rugby team and the cricket team for the college, and got his blue for the hurdles and the long jump. He is a fine, manly fellow. His father was the notorious Sir Jabez Gilchrist, who ruined himself on the turf. My scholar has been left very poor, but he is hard-working and industrious. He will do well. The 2nd floor is inhabited by Dotlet Ross, the Indian. He is a quiet, inscrutable fellow, as most of those Indians are. He is well up in his work, though his Greek is his weak subject. He is steady and methodical. The top floor belongs to Miles McLaren. He is a brilliant fellow when he chooses to work, one of the brightest intellects at the university, but he is wayward, dissipated, and unprincipled. He was nearly expelled over a card scandal in his first year. He has been idling all this term, and he must look forward with dread to the examination." "Then it is he whom you suspect." "I dare not go so far as that. But of the 3, he is perhaps the least unlikely." "Exactly. Now, Mr. Soames, let us have a look at your servant, Bannister. He was a little, white-faced, clean-shaven, grizzly-haired fellow of 50. He was still suffering from this sudden disturbance of the quiet routine of his life. His plump face was twitching with his nervousness, and his fingers could not keep still. "We are investigating this unhappy business, Bannister," said his master. "Yes, sir. I understand," said Holmes, "that you left your key in the door." "Yes, sir." "Was it not very extraordinary that you should do this on the very day when there were these papers inside?" "It was most unfortunate, sir, but I've occasionally done the same thing at other times." "When did you enter the room?" "It was about 4:30. That is Mr. Soames's tea time." "How long did you stay?" "When I saw that he was absent, I withdrew at once." "Did you look at these papers on the table?" "No, sir, certainly not." "How came you to leave the key in the door?" "I had the tea tray in my hand. I thought I would come back for the key. Then I forgot." "Has the outer door a spring lock?" "No, sir." "Then it was open all the time?" "Yes, sir." "Anyone in the room could get out?" "Yes, sir." "When Mr. Soames returned and called for you, you were very much disturbed?" "Yes, sir. Such a thing has never happened during the many years that I've been here. I nearly fainted, sir." "So I understand. Where were you when you began to feel bad?" "Where was I, sir?" "Why, here, near the door." "That is singular, because you sat down in that chair over yonder near the corner. Why did you pass these other chairs?" "I don't know, sir. It didn't matter to me where I sat." "I really don't think he knew much about it, Mr. Holmes. He was looking very bad, quite ghastly." "You stayed here when your master left?" "Only for a minute or so. Then I locked the door and went to my room." "Whom do you suspect?" "Oh, I would not venture to say, sir. I don't believe there's any gentleman in this university who's capable of profiting by such an action. No, sir, I'll not believe it." "Thank you. That will do," said Holmes. "Oh, one more word. You've not mentioned to any of the three gentlemen whom you attend that anything is amiss?" "No, sir, not a word." "You haven't seen any of them?" "No, sir." "Very good. Now, Mr. Soames, we will take a walk in the quadrangle, if you please." 3 yellow squares of light shone above us in the gathering gloom. "Your 3 birds are all in their nests," said Holmes, looking up. "Hello, what's that? One of them seems restless enough." It was the Indian, whose dark silhouette appeared suddenly upon his blind. He was pacing swiftly up and down his room. "I should like to have a peep at each of them," said Holmes. "Is it possible?" "No difficulty in the world," Soames answered. "This set of rooms is quite the oldest in the college, and it is not unusual for visitors to go over them. Come along, and I will personally conduct you." "No names, please," said Holmes, as we knocked at Gilchrist's door. A tall, flaxen-haired, slim young fellow opened it, and made us welcome when he understood our errand. There were some really curious pieces of medieval domestic architecture within. Holmes was so charmed with one of them that he insisted on drawing it in his notebook, broke his pencil, had to borrow one from our host, and finally borrowed a knife to sharpen his own. The same curious accident happened to him in the rooms of the Indian, a silent little hook-nosed fellow who eyed us askance, and was obviously glad when Holmes's architectural studies had come to an end. I could not see that in either case Holmes had come upon the clue for which he was searching. Only at the third did our visit prove abortive. The outer door would not open to our knock, and nothing more substantial than a torrent of bad language came from behind it. "I don't care who you are, you can go to blazes!" roared the angry voice. "Tomorrow's the exam, and I won't be drawn by anyone." "A rude fellow," said our guide. Flushing with anger as we withdrew down the stair. Of course, he did not realize that it was I who was knocking, but nonetheless, his conduct was very uncourteous, and indeed, under the circumstances, rather suspicious. Holmes's response was a curious one. "Can you tell me his exact height?" he asked. "Really, Mr. Holmes, I cannot undertake to say. He is taller than the Indian, not so tall as Gilchrist. I suppose 5'6" would be about it." "That is very important," said Holmes. And now, Mr. Soames, I wish you good night." Our guide cried aloud in his astonishment and dismay. "Good gracious, Mr. Holmes, you are surely not going to leave me in this abrupt fashion. You don't seem to realize the position. Tomorrow is the examination. I must take some definite action tonight. I cannot allow the examination to be held if one of the papers has been tampered with. The situation must be faced." "You must leave it as it is. I shall drop round early tomorrow morning and chat the matter over. It is possible that I may be in a position then to indicate some course of action. Meanwhile, you change nothing. Nothing at all. Very good, Mr. Holmes. You can be perfectly easy in your mind. We shall certainly find some way out of your difficulties. I will take the black clay with me, also the pencil cuttings. Goodbye." When we were out in the darkness of the quadrangle, we again looked up at the windows. The Indian still paced his room. The others were invisible. "Well, Watson, what do you think of it?" Holmes asked as we came out into the main street. "Quite a little parlor game. Sort of three-card trick, is it not? There are your three men. It must be one of them. You take your choice. Which is yours?" "The foul-mouthed fellow at the top? He's the one with the worst record. And yet that Indian was a sly fellow also. Why should he be pacing his room all the time?" "There is nothing in that. Many men do it when they're trying to learn anything by heart." He looked at us in a queer way. "So would you if a flock of strangers came in on you when you were preparing for an examination next day and every moment was of value. No, I see nothing in that. Pencils, too, and knives. All was satisfactory. But that fellow does puzzle me." "Who?" "Why, Bannister, the servant. What's his game in the matter?" "He impressed me as being a perfectly honest man." "So he did me. That's the puzzling part. Why should a perfectly honest man? Well, here's a large stationer's. We shall begin our researches here." There were only 4 stationers of any consequences in the town, and at each Holmes produced his pencil chips and bid high for a duplicate. All were agreed that one could be ordered, but that it was not a usual size of pencil and that it was seldom kept in stock. My friend did not appear to be depressed by his failure, but shrugged his shoulders in half-humorous resignation. "No good, my dear Watson. This, the best and only final clue, has run to nothing. But indeed, I have little doubt that we can build up a sufficient case without it. By Jove, my dear fellow, it is nearly 9, and the landlady babbled of green peas at 7:30. What with your eternal tobacco, Watson, and your irregularity at meals, I expect that you will get notice to quit, and that I shall share your downfall. Not, however, before we have solved the problem of the nervous tutor, the careless servant, and the 3 enterprising students." Holmes made no further allusion to the matter that day, though he sat lost in thought for a long time after our belated dinner. At 8 in the morning, he came into my room just as I finished my toilet. "Thank you for joining Bite at a Time Books today, while we read a bite of one of your favorite classics. Again, my name is Bree Carlile, and I hope you join us tomorrow for the next bite of The Return of Sherlock Holmes." If you enjoyed our show, be sure to follow us so you get all the new episodes. We would also love for you to drop us a rating on your favorite podcast platform. You can catch us on all the social medias at Bite at a Time Books, or check out our website, biteatatimebooks.com, where you can sign up for our newsletter. Our show is part of the Bite at a Time Books Productions Network. If you would also like to hear about the authors who write the books we read on the show, check out the Bite at a Time Books Behind the Story podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, or on biteatatimebooksbehindthestory.com.